Yeah, so basically already now we have a lot of applications of AI which work pretty well, like the spam filter, because the spammers use relatively repetitive patterns to create their spam emails. So that works relatively well. Because the spam filters are modeling a very small proportion of human cognition, which has to do with sexuality and money. That's what the spam emails are about, right? And that's why they can be relatively easily filtered. A very big example is the usage of AI for surveillance, because the human face, human gait, and also the way that human bodies interfere with Wi-Fi's creates patterns that are characteristic of an individual, perfectly characteristic. Also, this Wi-Fi thing is very interesting. Was just published, and you can now use AI to basically identify human being perfectly by the face, by the gait, but also by the way the human being interferes with the Wi-Fi. So when you are at an airport and once your Wi-Fi interference pattern has been captured, the next time they can identify you. So this is, for example, a very typical case where AI can be used really well, because the pattern has a high regularity and at the same time individuality, like a fingerprint. Another example is warfare. So now the Ukraine war, not so much the Gaza war, because the Gaza war is a war of highly industrialized and sophisticated military against peasants, right? But the Ukraine war is a war of two powers, the United States and a bit of NATO, against Russia, who basically both have very sophisticated AI in the battlefield, right? So especially in two areas, in the areas of sensors, to understand what's going on the battlefield with many, many different modalities of sensors, but also for missiles, right? To control the trajectory of missiles. Because now the Russians have a lot of missiles that don't have a ballistic flight pattern anymore. So ballistic flight pattern means that you shoot off a rocket and it flies like this. And when you measure like a parabola, and when you measure 2 points on this trajectory, you can predict the rest of the trajectory. Then you can shoot down the missile. That's how the Iron Dome works. But when there is no ballistic pattern of flight anymore, you cannot shoot down the missile, or it's very hard to shoot it down. And all of this works with AI. So AI has many, many important applications, peaceful and non-peaceful. But especially the big hype is around those large language models like ChatGPT, and they don't deliver on their promises. So they will lead to huge failures of investments. But I think that the most clever investors have factored this in, and they are basically promoting this hype for a different reason. They're promoting this hype to create a total network of digitization and AI over the planet for surveillance and control. And for this, AI works really well.